Men not only need unions, they need men's unions for men's issues to combat the sexism that's in the workforce. Now, this gentleman here, his story is going to point out that the companies shoulder the men in the workforce with the responsibility of keeping the company alive while giving the women a free ride. Now, listen.
These are choices that people make. And the hours you have to work to get to the top are incredibly demanding. I know that. I worked in magazines, I got to the very top. And when I became a father, it didn't work for me. 18 months after becoming a dad, I gave it all up because I didn't see my kid. That was my choice. But I wasn't supported financially. I worked for the world's biggest magazine corporation, IPC Media, Time Warner. And it was routine and normal for mothers to ask to go part-time after becoming a mother. And it had never been done before where a father asked to go part-time. My deputy editor asked to go part-time. Not only did they refuse him, but they laughed. This is the world's biggest magazine publisher. Well, we can't do that. He's deputy editor. If we make that position part-time, everybody will want to go part-time. I said, there are hundreds and hundreds of women that work in this company who have gone part-time, not a single man.
Exactly. So they gaslit him on top of it. What they basically admitted was that this part-time option was only for the women in the company. The men are slaves. They're there to work for the company and uphold it. And the women are paid the exact same amount for the same job. There is no wage gap, and they can turn around and just opt out when they want to. And these companies, by the way, that say they're for families are lying. Because if they were families, they would give fathers part-time jobs as easily as they do mothers. They don't. So it's not about families. It's about giving women free stuff. Now, here's something that he didn't mention. HR is there to let women dominate the men in the workforce. So if some woman who in that company didn't like this man's face, she could just go and complain to HR and they would come and put the threat to him. And if he stood up for himself, they might fire him. And keep the woman who they don't want to put responsibility on. So companies will hurt their bottom line to pander to women and punish men. So as you can see, these men work themselves to the top and they've got to sacrifice. And by the way, this guy, he had to make a choice. He sacrificed higher income and status to be with his children. And the women don't. When they climb to the top, the company just pays for them to be mothers. So this is the sexism that's in the workforce. It's inherent. It's everywhere. And that's why men need, if they have to deal with the workforce, they need unions, and men's unions in particular. There's got to be an awareness now of men of just how bad it is for them. And they have to actually work together and fight this kind of sexism and say, no, I want the exact same thing that women get, or at the very least, promote me over these women. And there should be a wage gap. They should be paying these men a lot more, considering they are the ones that are burdened with keeping the company alive. And the women are just leeching off them. I got news for you guys. Work is optional for women. It's been so since the Second World War. It's been optional for them. So just know it, that men should be demanding a lot more, considering they are the ones, but they're not. They've given all the responsibility and then they're treated like dirt. And that's what I have to say about this.